Alright guys, welcome back to the Wrestling Rundown. We're going to be moving on to the Indie News segment. We've got all kinds of stuff. We've got the return of the Indy Question coming up. We got results. We got upcoming shows. So let's give some love to the Indies. And let's start off with our new favorite show of the week, Lucha Underground.
I know. It's like, we're as excited for Lucha Underground now as we are for NXT.
Yeah. Wednesday, Thursday are good days of the week as far as wrestling
goes.
We opened up with a little backstage segment, Conan and Cueto talking about the putting Puma against Big Rick later tonight in the main event in a Boyle Heights street fight.
Yeah, and we made the comment that Conan is just looking older.
He looks older. It's like
older.
A week is like 3 years for Conan. He just ages. He ages like a dog. Every year is like 7 years. It's just.
Well, the sad thing is Lucha Underground is also filmed in blocks like NXT. So Conan is just looking older by the hour.
Just each episode, he's just going to be more and more decrepit. Which, by the way, he got arrested last weekend.
Oh no.
Him, MVP, and Rey Mysterio were at a football game. They were at a Chargers football game. And there's actually a... Rey Mysterio put it on
Were Mysterio and MVP also arrested?
No.
Oh, just Conan.
No, just Conan. I don't know what happened, but Rey Mysterio posted the picture on his Twitter and on his Instagram. I believe MVP is taking the picture because it's Rey Mysterio pointing at the officer taking Conan away. And he goes, and Rey Mysterio says, "Damn popos can't even enjoy a football game with at Conan blah 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 or at 305 MVP." So
wow.
Yeah.
Go Conan.
So he might,
despite the fact that you walk around with a cane and you look old as fuck, you can still cause a ruckus.
So he might not be at next week's Lucha Underground. He's still in jail. Our first match of the night, we had Drago, unfortunately, taking on Mil Muertes.
Yeah, Drago's kind of become our house favorite of the luchas on Lucha Underground.
He is extremely entertaining.
He's cool to look at.
He's like the total package as far as a luchador. Like, he just keeps you interested with the way he looks and the way he moves and the things he does. And he had the unfortunate task of taking on Mil Muertes this week, where he took the fight to Mil Muertes a few times. Mil Muertes being extremely strong and much more imposing than Drago.
Muertes' first non-squashy type match.
Yeah. This is the first time he actually had to try, which he did. We also had the stalking of Drago by King Cuerno, who was kind of up on a little platform.
Hovering over the commentary table.
Yeah, just, being the predator stalking his prey.
And the fact that he didn't do that during the match with Drago, though, made it look kind of weird.
No, he didn't. No, it was during the match.
Well, no, I mean, like, not during his match last week with Drago. That he didn't really act all hunty, animal-y like.
No, I think it was because this was because we got the little vignette that kind of like let us know that he was a hunter.
Yeah.
And it was because he lost to Drago last week that now he's hunting Drago.
It threw me off because last week we saw him as like a traditional luchador, like wrestling and doing stuff. Yeah. And this we see him and now he's trying to be all creepy and like floating over. I'm like, he's just awkward.
He's trying to get his character across, but Drago unfortunately doesn't get the win. Mil Muertes defeating him with a flatliner.
And then he gets licked.
Yeah, then he... the luckiest Dragon.
I'm pretty sure he got his tongue flatlined out of his face.
Yeah, there was black goop next to his head.
Chunks of black jello.
It was nasty looking. But then King Cuerno comes down, gets in the ring, and hits Dragon. He hit him with something. Does a post match attack. So really setting up an issue between the two of them. Could be seeing a rematch here in the next couple weeks or something. Then we got a little Johnny Mundo vignette, which is kind of cool. It kind of gives you a little insight to the characters. He talks about how he was away from the business and got called back because he heard Lucha Underground. So it's
he said one of the line that really threw me for a loop on this one is he talked about how he was always going against the authority, and when the whatever the politics got too much, he took his ball and went home.
Yeah, he's trying to be the CM Punk.
He's trying to be the Lucha Underground CM Punk.
Yeah.
Sorry, John Morrison, Nitro, Mundo. CM Punk, you are not.
He can try, though.
Go for it.
We got a little backstage segment where Katrina Dario Cueto comes into a room and finds Katrina and Mortis, and kind of asks them like what they're doing there. And Katrina says, Mil Mortis wants you to understand that darkness can't be locked away forever.
And she touches the key.
Referencing the key that he wears around his neck. So we'll have to see where that goes.
It's Mortis' brother, Abyss.
Fuck.
Abysmo, I mean.
Abysmo. Oh God, no. I hope not. Then we got...
Or Joseph Park. This is like a 2007, 2008 TNA reference.
This is terrible. Then we got Son of Havoc coming out with Evilise. Son of Havoc would be in one-on-one action taking on Mascarita Sagrada. Weird.
I mean, though, gonna face it, Son of Havoc isn't that big.
No, but he is severely bigger than Mascarita Sagrada.
Yeah.
So we had the traditional, bigger guy versus the little guy. He's trying to make fun of Mascarita. Mascarita ends up showing him up and doing some good stuff. The interesting thing in this match, though, we got the appearance of formerly known as Savannah in WWE. We don't know what her name is currently in Lucha Underground. That hasn't been revealed, but she shows up in a very underworld-esque get-up at the top of the stairs. Doesn't stick around long. She ends up walking away. But, yeah, Mascarita gets the win, gets a roll-up on Son of Havoc. And so now we're left with some questions as to, what's formerly known as Savannah's new name? What's her issue? Who is she stalking?
She's got a midget fetish.
She gets her rocks off on Lucha Olympus. Then we had a one-on-one match between Chavo Guerrero and Sexy Star.
Didn't last long.
No, ended in DQ after Sexy Star goes out to grab the chair.
Yeah, she wanted revenge on Chavo for tagging Blue Demon and Mascarita Sagrada. Yeah. And all the stuff, all the jerky things Chavo's been doing.
And the ref's like, no, you don't want to do this. And she kicks the ref in the nuts.
Yeah.
Just straight up hauls out, kicks him in the balls.
Not a good day to be that ref.
And she turns her attention to Chavo. Chavo's like, please, no, don't do it. Then we get Pentagon Jr. comes out, grabs the chair from Sexy Star, is getting ready to hit her. Chavo's like holding on to her. Phoenix makes a save, so we could be seeing the beginnings of a really awesome tag team match.
Yeah, I'm saying Phoenix and Sexy Star versus Pentagon and Chavo next week on Lucha Underground.
That'd be awesome. Hopefully that's the main event. But our main event this week was a Boyle Heights street fight between Prince Puma and Big Rick. Big Rick had Cortez and Cisco out there in his corner. This was pretty much Puma trying to survive. He got his ass handed to him.
Yeah.
He tried really hard.
But it was a numbers game thing because it was a street fight, so Cortez and Cisco could get involved whenever they wanted.
Yeah, and so,
And then Big Rick put him through it. I love the tables at Lucha Underground.
Hey, at least this one broke in 3 pieces, not just 2.
Yeah, but you can still see the cut line.
But Johnny Mundo tries to make the save. He's got a chair. Goes to hit Rick. Rick ducks. He hits Puma in the face. Mundo gets taken out. Big Rick, I think, picked up Puma.
That's how he put him through the table.
Yeah, put him through the table.
Cisco and Cortez put him out with the friggin' 3D into the...
Yeah, the 3D lung blower.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That should be on your rude move list.
It might be. I'm doing the WWE edition, so...
When you get to Lucha Underground edition.
Yeah, Lucha Underground edition, that'll definitely be on the rude moves list.
Hey, I can do a Lucha Underground edition with 5 matches.
Yeah. Once we get 5 matches you shouldn't miss. We're getting there.
We've got at least 3.
So we're moving right along on that Lucha Underground train. It's still entertaining. We're learning new characters. Just all kinds of good stuff. But we are going to move on. We got some more results.
Yeah, we're
going to move on to Kevin Hawk. What you got for us?
We've had 2 of the big year-end indie shows for AIW and AAW.
Ah, yes.
So yesterday, as of the day we're filming this, we had AIW's Hell on Earth 10.
Which is one that we've been touting for a couple weeks now.
Yeah. In the opener, Alex Shelley defeated Josh Prohibition via a roll-up. Nasty Russ Myers defeated Jimmy Jacobs by disqualification when Jimmy Jacobs brought a chair into the ring and started using it.
Dig move, bro.
Then we had a promo between the League of Justice and the Iron Curtain, who are setting up for their eight-man tag match.
I wish Thomas Wolfe was here to hear that match.
Where Gregory Irons said that Martini from the Iron Curtain was injured and couldn't... by the way, the teams, the League of Justice is Dick Justice, Bobby Beverly, Cheech, and Colin Delaney. The Iron Curtain was supposed to be Gregory Iron, Benjamin Boone, Sergeant and Arms Jerry, and Martini, but Martini was injured, and they said, well, we found a suitable replacement for Martini, and they brought in Rhino.
Fuck.
Dick Justice got the win over Gregory Irons, though, when Rhino made a face turn mid-match and gored Gregory Irons.
Very nice.
Kingston defeated Ethan Page in a dog collar match. Kingston got him in a crossface using the chain wrapped around his face, and the referee declared that Ethan Page was no longer able to continue. Fair enough.
Sure.
Post-match, Kingston gets on the mic and calls out Chris Hero, who's not even there. But whoever the power figure is at AIW comes out and announces at their next show we will see a one-on-one match between Eddie Kingston and Chris Hero.
Fuck yeah.
Next
I'm
up,
excited for that one.
Yeah. Next up, Johnny Gargano comes out, and the EC3, his scheduled opponent, comes out and says, "Hey, I'm too injured to wrestle." So yeah, this is happening twice on the same card. Guy, I'm too injured to wrestle. Here's the replacement. He brings out a guy who looks a lot like Son of Havoc from Lucha Underground. It's M-Dog20 Matt Cross, and we have
Oh yeah, they do have. They both have those big beards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beards are the thing in wrestling now.
Yeah. Gargano wins via disqualification when EC3 gets in the ring and attacks Gargano from behind. Josh Prohibition comes out and makes the save, and we get the announcement that at the next AIW show, we're going to get Johnny Gargano and Josh Prohibition versus EC3 and M-Dog20.
Oh, they Teddy Long that shit.
They did.
Just a month in advance.
Chris Sabin defeats Eric Ryan. Davey Vega retains the Intense Championship in a 6-man scramble against Alex Daniels, Joshua Singh, Lewis Linden, Flip Kendrick, and Veda Scott.
Wow.
Marion Fontaine.
Well, yeah, that was a scramble match.
Yeah. Marion Fontaine goes over clean on Rockstar Spud. And Tim Donst retains the Absolute Championship in that 4-way Falls Count Anywhere match.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about that last week.
With Josh Alexander, Ricky Shane Page, and Tyson Dux by making Tyson tap out from dusk till Donst.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was pretty awesome. Then we have Windy City Classic 10 from AAW. We opened up with Lewis Linden going over on Shane Hollister. Justice Jones defeated Marion Fontaine in a previously unannounced match. Christian Faith retains the Heritage Championship over Merrick Brave. Chris Sabin defeated Jimmy Jacobs. Jimmy Jacobs calling Chris Sabin the Marty Jannetty of every tag team he's ever been a part of.
That's messed up.
Sabin then tweeted, "Haha, I win, LOL." The Hooligans defeated Zero Gravity in a Berwyn City street fight. Matt Cage defeated Johnny Gargano. Eddie Kingston retained the AAW title over the Human Massacre Keith Walker. And
Is that his nickname?
Yes.
That's intense.
And the Monster Mafia defeats the Wolves in the main event. A lot of people say that this show had multiple Match of the Year candidates on this one show.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I mean those are the two big shows that happened this
Congratulations,
weekend.
AAW.
Yeah. And now we got, I guess, the Indy Question of the week.
Yes.
I went with the theme of the week, which is Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving again to everybody.
Yes.
Hope you had a good one.
And I asked, what in wrestling are you most thankful for?
I like that you kept it to wrestling, not like what are you thankful for in general, but
Yes.
what in wrestling are you thankful for. That's good. I like it.
Mm-hmm. So, one half of the Chikara Campeones de Parejas, Dasher Hatfield, the old-timey king of swing, said his relationship with the fans.
Aw.
Dasher Hatfield is such a fan favorite, no matter what promotion he's going to.
He always does the little huddle outside,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, Dasher, or
Throwbacks.
Chikara, or throwbacks, yeah. That's awesome. We love Dasher Hatfield.
Yeah, Evangelistico of the Submission Squad said...
One of our regular answers. Thank you very much, Ian.
The friendship and camaraderie with other wrestlers.
Oh, okay.
Saying that in the wrestling world, there is a lot of bullshit. There is a lot of everyone's looking out for themselves, but you do end up always getting that, like in high school, you get that core group of friends where you guys are tight for years, kind of thing, So it's that for those friendships, that is what he's thankful for.
That's cool.
Darren Corbin posts that he was thankful for the opportunities to travel abroad that he wouldn't have gotten under any other circumstances other than had he become a wrestler.
I think a lot of wrestlers appreciate that. The fact that, you get into it because you love the sport, but then you get a chance to go to all these, go across the United States, go to other countries, Japan, Canada, go all over Europe. You get to go to all these different places and just experience different cultures, and I'm sure that's a real selling point as far as being a professional wrestler.
Yeah, and you think somebody like, an indie wrestler like Darren Corbin from Minnesota, what if he got a job as a construction worker? He'd probably be sitting and doing construction in Minnesota his whole life.
Or maybe moving to another state.
Yeah.
One other state and running a company there or something.
Yeah. But not, as a wrestler, yeah, he does get to go all over the place. He goes, he comes here to Oregon, he's in California quite a bit.
Yeah, he's actually a regular here at WCWC. So.
Yeah. And then lastly, Drew Gulak said that he is most thankful for the new Star Wars Episode 7 teaser trailer that just came out a couple days ago.
Are there wrestlers in the movie?
No, but I have linked this in my head, actually, because I knew you were going to bring this up. And while I was on my way here, I came up with the explanation. Wrestling is how Drew Gulak makes money.
Okay.
He needs money to buy a computer.
Okay.
He also needs money to pay for the internet.
Okay.
Without the internet, he couldn't access YouTube. And without YouTube, he couldn't watch the Star Wars Episode 7 teaser trailer over and over and over again. So wrestling has given him the ability to watch the Star Wars Episode 7 teaser trailer.
I'll even take that a step further, because if it wasn't for wrestling or YouTube, we wouldn't be doing this show right now.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have asked him that question.
Nope.
So thank you, Drew Gulak. Thank you, Darren Corbin. Thank you, Dasher Hatfield. And thank you, Evangelistico, for your awesome answers. We appreciate that you send in those answers every single week that we ask you. Thank you.
Next week, I might give you some follow-up answers. There are a lot of wrestlers. I won't name names, but Player Dose and Pinky Sanchez,
I was going to say Player Dose,
who often answer a day or two post-recording the show.
Hey, it's cool. It's cool.
But
the honorable mentions down at the bottom.
We've given you the results from this weekend and the answer to the Indy Question of November. But we're not done yet, because we have a lot of upcoming shows. Like we said, it's the end of the year.
Yeah.
Everybody's packing the schedules full. And we've got a lot of stuff, including Ring of Honor Final Battle.
Final Battle.
This is always one of the craziest shows of the year.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that have happened this year that's leading up to moments at this show.
If you don't believe us about this being one of the craziest shows of the year, go back to my last edition of 5 Matches Not to Miss. Second to last edition of 5 Matches Not to Miss.
The
Ring of Honor edition. The Kevin Steen versus Mike Bennett. That match was nuts.
Yeah. That was
There's a stretcher
last year, right?
Yeah. It was a stretcher match that ended up not having a stretcher involved.
Yeah, because Kevin Steen destroyed the stretcher.
Yeah, it happens.
But yes, this year, December 7th, going to be taking place in New York City. At
the Hammerstein Ballroom?
No, at Terminal 5.
Terminal 5.
Terminal 5 will be hosting Final Battle 2014, and we got some interesting matches. We got a full card at this point. There might be more matches. We got 7 set so far.
Hey, that's a good card.
First up, we got a 6-man tag team match, which I'm sure you'll be interested in. We've got The Addiction, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, teaming with Cedric Alexander to take on the Young Bucks and ACH.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am interested in this match.
Yeah, very, very intriguing. We've got a rematch.
Is Final Battle going to be an pay-per-view?
I believe so. I don't know for sure. I'll let you know.
We might have a busy weekend that weekend.
Yeah, because we know we're already watching one of these shows. We'll let you know when that comes up.
Yep.
In my results from last week, we had Michael Elgin wrestle a no contest against Hansen, and we had Tommaso Ciampa win his match. Now these two are going to be facing each other one-on-one. Now,
Elgin versus Ciampa.
I've seen what they can do on ROH TV, and it's scary.
Yeah, they had a match a couple weeks ago on ROH TV. So that broke down.
Yeah, so this will be interesting. Going to be another slugfest, I'm sure. Then we get some setup from Tag Wars where we had Moose turn on R.D. Evans. We have Moose versus R.D. Evans coming up in this show.
Obviously R.D. Evans is out for revenge.
Yeah, well, of course he is. So I don't know much about Moose. He's a big black dude. I know that. R.D. Evans, great wrestler, so that should be an interesting one. We've got Roderick Strong taking on Adam Page. Both these guys were in the Survival of the Fittest tournament. Neither of them won, but it should be an interesting one-on-one match. Then we get into our title matches. First up, we have the ROH Television Championship being defended by Jay Lethal taking on Matt Sydal. Wow. That is going to be a flippy kind of match, and
I appreciate it.
I'm excited for it. Another title match that I know you're excited for. We have the ROH Tag Team Champions.
Always.
Dr. Agon, Red Dragon, defending against the Time Splitters, Alex Shelley and Kushida.
When you told me that Shelley and Kushida were coming to Ring of Honor for this show, I got pumped.
Yeah. We talked about it last week, and he was all kinds of excited. And then in our main event, the Fight Without Honor for the ROH Championship, we have Jay Briscoe taking on the Survival of the Fittest winner this year, Adam Cole.
Yeah, that's going to be violent.
Yes.
Cole and Briscoe have had a history in Ring of Honor like this entire last year. Because I'm pretty sure it was the year ago at Final Battle when Briscoe beat Cole for the title.
Cole, I think that was when... Oh, maybe it was. Yeah,
something. They fought at Final Battle last year.
Yeah, and this whole thing, I mean, it's been with those two and Michael Elgin and just Matt Hardy and...
they keep mixing things up.
It's been...
But it's coming back down to this core feud between Briscoe and Cole.
Yeah. It's been a crazy year, but yeah, so we're going to be getting a Fight Without Honor, which is going to be violent. It's going to be bloody. Final Battle's going to be good. I'm excited for it. But we've got more.
It's got my pants wet.
We got more where that came from. We're going to send it back over to Kevin. Talk about some more matches that are coming up, because
that threw you off.
Ooh, yeah, I was not expecting that at all.
Alright, let me gain my composure.
Good luck.
Alright, so this weekend, right now, or earlier today, I didn't get results for it. I mean, I know Windy City Classic was today.
Yeah.
And I had results for that, but I couldn't get results for this yet, so I'm going to go over it now as an upcoming event. But it was earlier today. It's Beyond Wrestling's show in Providence, Rhode Island.
Is this the crazy one?
Yes.
There's
a lot of stuff going on with Beyond Wrestling this
weekend.
Bear
with us, people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff happening.
There's 3 different things all going on with Beyond Wrestling this weekend. We have, first off, I'm going to say the tournament for tomorrow, 3/16, is a tournament that's happening at the Chop Shop, which is a local pro wrestling school, if I understand that correctly. And they're having, today was Block A, the first half of the tournament, where they had the Ninjas with Attitude, Shinron and Kitsune, against EYFBO.
I still don't know what that means.
Which is Angel Ortiz and Mike Drastic. Tabernacle Team, which is Matthew St. Jacques and Thomas Dubois, against The Influence, who is Mike Montero and Jason Devine. Biff Busick and Drew Gulak against Brutal Burgers from Ring of Honor.
Brutal Bob Evans and Cheeseburger.
And we have the Devastation Corporation, Max Smashmaster and Flex Rumble Crunch against Team Friendship, Mark Sherman and Scotty Slade.
That's an interesting combination of the Devastation Corporation.
Yeah. Not the typical, because you always see in tag team matches.
You usually get Blaster and...
Max and Blaster together.
Yeah.
And that happened at like 3 o'clock. And then at 7 o'clock, we started the big show, Alive and Kicking. Where we had
2 shows in one day.
Yeah, Colin Delaney versus John Silver. 4-way winner-takes-all tag team match between the Osirian Portal, the Batiri, the Minutemen, Devin Blaze, and Tommy Trainwreck, and EYFBO. So EYFBO, 2 matches in one day.
I like those first 2 teams. I don't really know the other 2.
Brian Fury versus Jay Freddy. A 2 out of 3 falls match between Anthony Stone and Dave Cole. The Hoods, Davey Cash and Chris Pyro versus The Influence. So it's The Influence's second match of the day.
Damn.
Silverant versus Matt Tremont in a match called a Styles Clash. Not after the move, but the fact that Silverant is a huge established lucha/technical wrestler from Chikara. Matt Tremont is a deathmatch style CCW wrestler.
I feel sorry for Silverant.
Yeah. Biff Busick versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Drew Gulak and Kimber Lee versus Pepper Parks and Cherry Bomb in an intergender tag team match.
That's cool.
And then a East versus West 10-man elimination tag team match.
Holy crap.
We had representing the East Coast. Representing the East Coast. We had the Juicy Product. JT Dunn and David Starr. I wrote these names really small.
Wait, I thought you said 10-man.
Yeah, well, they got other partners.
Oh, okay.
Teaming with the Doom Patrol, Chris Dickinson and Jaka, and
what the fuck?
their other partner, Dan Barry, taking on the West Coast contingency, which I call Team PWG because they're all Pro Wrestling Guerrilla guys. The Young Bucks, Brian Cage, Chuck Taylor, and Trevor Lee.
That heel team makes no fucking sense. At all. JT Dunn, Jaka.
Yeah.
What?
It's gonna look funny, that's for sure.
Just those 2.
And then tomorrow, we're gonna have the second night of this.
More tournaments.
Tournament for tomorrow, 316 Block B, is going to have the Batiri versus Milk Chocolate, Brandon Watson, Randy Summers. The Golden State Gods, Eric Corbus and Mike Quest versus the Minutemen, who wrestled the night before. The Colony, Fire Ant and Worker Ant are going to be going against Flawless and Lawless, Blake Morris and Rex Lawless. And the Kimber Bombs, Kimberly and Cherry Bomb, who were on opposing sides of an intergender tag team match, are going to be teaming together to face the Crusade for Change, Darius Carter and TJ Marconi.
That's a boys versus girls match. That's interesting. You don't get those very often.
Not really. And then that's at 3 o'clock tomorrow. 7 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to start for the actual tournament for tomorrow 3. We're going to have a bunch of one-on-one matches. We've got Brian Cage versus Pinky Sanchez.
Interesting.
Which is a weird little guy versus a huge, angry big guy.
Yeah.
Matt Tremont versus Stockade in a bull rope match. So this is very much more the style these 2 guys are used to. Very angry, beat 'em up guys.
I don't know Stockade very
Eddie Edwards is going to go one-on-one against Silver Ant. That match I'm excited for.
That's gonna be fucking good.
And then we have the 4 first-round matches of the actual tournament for tomorrow 3. Because there's the tournament for tomorrow 3 and the tournament for tomorrow 316. 2 separate tag team tournaments going on.
No affiliation with Stone Cold.
No. So we got the Hit Squad, which is
the
Monster...
Hoods and the Hit Squad.
Yeah. The Hit Squad, Monster Mac and Mafia. If you have never seen these guys are 2 ghetto, huge fat dudes that are mean. The first time I saw these guys were in Japanese hardcore wrestling DVDs, like 15 years ago. So I can only imagine they've gotten older and fatter and meaner.
Now they're just disgruntled.
They're going to be going against the Doom Patrol, Chris Dickinson and Jaka.
That is such a weird fucking thing.
And then we're going to have the next match, the Osirian Portal versus Juicy Product. Team Tremendous, which is Dan Barry and Bill Carr, are going against the Gentleman's Club. Chuck Taylor and your new favorite guy, Orange Cassidy. In their corner will be the Swamp Monster.
Orange Cassidy, easily the best part of the Gentleman's Club versus Submission Squad at King of Trios. Delirious.
And the Hoods versus the Young Bucks, making the Young Bucks and the Hit Squad the only two teams that aren't wrestling twice.
Oh.
And well, I guess the Gentleman's Club.
Yeah.
As well. Chuck Taylor's wrestling
twice.
twice.
Chuck Taylor's wrestling twice.
And then, also, I don't know if that's going to end up going tournament style until we get a winner out of those 8 teams, but then I know we're going to take the 2 semifinalist teams from Block A tonight, and the 2 earlier today, and the 2 semifinalists from Block B, which will be tomorrow's 3 o'clock show.
So we got 2 teams from here, 2 teams from
in
here.
In a fatal 4-way match to determine the winner of the tournament for tomorrow, 3/16.
Wow.
If you followed all that, congratulations.
Give me the star.
I said it. I was reading it and I couldn't follow it. I was that confused. So I'm going to get myself out of the clouds here, out of the confusion, and go to, we got Shine 23.
Yeah.
It's going to be on December 5th in Heber City, Florida.
Now, we covered this last week.
But we didn't have any matches.
We had names. Now we have matches.
We have some matches. The Shine champion, Mia Yim, is going to go against Nevia. Nevia is going to have SoCal Val in her corner.
Nevia Christ, right?
I believe so, yes. And the tag team champions, the Legendary, which is Molly Hosaka and Brandy Wine. They're going to have former WWF Women's Champion Leilani Kai in their corner as they take on the Kimber Bombs, Princess Kimberly and Cherry Bomb.
Who we just talked about at that crazy-ass show in Beyond Wrestling.
Yes. We have Taylor Made going 1-on-1 against La Rosa Negra. She's also going to have SoCal Val in her corner. And we've got Leah Von Dutch versus Thunder Kitty. Thunder Kitty also going to have Leilani Kai in her corner.
I feel like we've got kind of an old school, like, Heenan family kind of thing going on with, like, SoCal Val's got her girls and Leilani Kai's got her girls.
And another tag team match, the BTY, Jamie Jameson and Marty Bell.
Marty Bell.
Can't read my own handwriting. Are taking on one of my favorite female tag teams, Solo Darling and Heidi Lovelace, the Buddy System, with their manager, Daphne.
Oh, yeah.
There's also a lot more people announced for the show. We've got a couple debuts on the show. The former champion, Eva Lise, is going to be there. So, whatever's going to happen there, who knows? I don't. Maybe I will one day.
Lots of crazy stuff.
Yeah. And then we have on the 12th of December, PWG's Black Coal Sun.
We've been touting this one for a couple weeks, too.
Yeah, we've been touting this for, I think, the last month and a half.
We know how much you love PWG.
Reseda, California, we got a 4-way dance. That's going to be Biff Busick, Brian Cage, Wuhan Nation, and Tommaso Ciampa.
All kinds of scary.
Bobby Fish versus Roderick Strong.
That'd be a good match.
Cedric Alexander versus Adam Cole.
You weren't sure about that.
Well, I almost said Cedric Cole. just both guys in the match smashed together.
Adam Alexander.
Yeah. We're going to have that 6-man tag team match between Johnny Gargano and the Best Friends versus ACH, Rich Swann, and AR Fox.
That I'm so excited for.
We've got Chris Hero versus Trevor Lee. We've got the tag team dream match, Matt Sydal and Chris Sabin taking on the Young Bucks. And then we have the PWG Tag Team Championships on the line, the world's cutest tag team defending against the Addiction. And the championship match, Kyle O'Reilly defending against Ricochet. Ricochet cashing in his title shot because he won the Battle of Los Angeles this year. The next day, following this, is California. If you're looking on the map over here, we're going to go all the way over here to Voorhees, New Jersey, in a complete flop of styles. This is Combat Zone Wrestling's Cage of Death show. We've got Devin Moore and Lucky 13 taking on Demetrius Papadon and Peppa Parks. Say that 5 times fast.
No, thank you.
We've got a Best of the Best qualifying scramble match. Best of the Best, a yearly tournament that CCW does, highlighting their best wrestlers.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Caleb Connolly, Alex Cullen, Jonathan Gresham, Speedball Mike Bailey, David Starr, and AR Fox are all vying for one slot in this tournament.
Still only 2 guys I know in that match.
Alexander James is going against Rich Swann. The owner of CZW, DJ Hyde, in a grudge match against Chris Dickinson. We've got the Norman Smiley Memorial Bunkhouse Brawl Ultraviolent Food Fight of Life or Death, where Greg Excellence and Matt Tremont are going to be on opposite sides, and both those guys get to bring a tag team partner of their choice.
Which we don't know those tag team partners yet.
Yes. And then the CZW Wired Championship. Shane Strickland defends against Chainsaw Joe Gacy, and that match is going to be big and brutal. And then the cage. Speaking of big and brutal, it doesn't get any more big or brutal than the Cage of Death itself. If you saw that annotation from last week,
go back.
Did you have a heart attack?
I'll even tell you.
He had a heart attack.
It's in the Indie News right around 39 minutes. I point at Kevin Hawk and it's there.
That's what an annotation looks like.
Yeah, and he ate it. He ate the annotation, but it's still there. No, oh my I found the link and it scared me. I yelled when I watched it. It's terrifying.
It is.
It's scary as fuck.
Absolutely. But we've got the man who was in that clip, Sabian, formerly known as Sabian, now Black G's, is 1/4 of this match. The Cage of Death, Black G's, Drew Gulak, Biff Busick, all vying to try and win the CZW Championship from Sozio in that big 4-way Cage of Death. That match is going to be bloody, brutal, and intense.
It's Cage of Death. It has to be bloody. It's gonna. Oh! Sabian might die in this one. Because I'm surprised he didn't die in the one that I annotated.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
But last, and certainly, definitely, not the most least, we pointed to our new poster earlier. This is a promotional poster for Chikara, Tomorrow Never Dies.
Rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior, but we had to give some love to Chikara. And we got a scary-ass Decalion watching over us right now.
Yeah. So on the 6th, live on iPay-per-view.
We're watching it.
We're going to watch it. Our eyes are going to be on it.
We're going to watch it. We're probably going to be recording our episode that night, so we will have instant results that weekend for you.
Yeah.
As soon as it's over, we're going to start recording, and we're going to be all kinds of hype because there is some crazy shit going down.
Yeah. Talk about 7 stacked matches as far as Chikara is concerned. We're coming to you live from the Philly's most famous wrestling arena, you'd have to say. The formerly known as the ECW Arena, now the 2300 Arena. Tomorrow Never Dies. It's going to be on iPay-per-view. It's like $15. If you guys don't pay for any other non-network thing, because $9.99 for the WWE Network is great, but $15 for this, which is a awesome WrestleMania quality match pay-per-view. Not the spectacle that WrestleMania is, but the matches
especially indie
themselves.
fans that are watching this right now. This was already good, and this week they upped the stakes.
Yeah, a lot. On 3 different matches.
Yes.
One match just got announced this week.
I didn't know this. Or did I know this?
Well, it was the...
I didn't know this.
Well, I'll get into that when I get to it. First off, we've got the finals from Wrestling is Fun presents the Young Lions Cup 11. Heidi Lovelace versus Missile Assault Ant.
That's
Heidi Lovelace trying to become the first ever female Young Lions Cup champion. This is the 11th installment of the Young Lions Cup, and out of every tournament, and the people who have won the Young Lions Cup outside of the tournaments, none of them have been female. Heidi Lovelace is looking to break this trend. Can she do it? We'll find out.
I'm pulling for her because that would be awesome.
Tomorrow Never Dies. Also, we have a sort of a grudge match building between Juan Francisco de Coronado and Smooth Sailing Ashley Remington. Both of these guys have one victory over the other in recent events.
This started at King of Trios.
Yes, it started at King of Trios. Ashley Remington used a German suplex to win a match. Juan Francisco de Coronado took offense to that because he's been using the German suplex. These guys are 1-1 against each other, and this has come down to it. You can only win via German suplex.
This is a German suplex match.
Yes. And I guarantee you, any German suplexes in this match will be better than Brock Lesnar's German suplexes.
That's not hard.
We have another grudge match between 2 of the biggest entities that have been playing a role in the Chikara versus Flood storyline. Eddie Kingston, representing Chikara, will be going 1-on-1 against the mouthpiece of the Flood, Jimmy Jacobs, the general of the Flood. You know, the guy who we thought everybody was listening to until we found out that there was a big, bad, scary Deucalion behind the scenes. How that can hide, I don't know.
He did.
But that match, that's going to be probably the hardest hitting, roughest, toughest match in the show.
Jimmy Jacobs,
Eddie Kingston's is in it. So
Jimmy Jacobs, even though he's small, he is violent. I've seen his matches in ROH against Colt Cabana.
The cage match with BJ Whitmer.
I mean, he is a scary little dude, and you match that with the intensity of Eddie Kingston, this is gonna be. If Chikara could get barbaric, this is going to be barbaric.
Yeah. Also, we have another match that's been building for a few years.
Yeah.
Ultra Mantis Black.
I'm going to
versus Delirious.
I'm going to be putting links to the videos. There were 2 videos released during the week this week. Delirious stalked Ultra Mantis to his library, where he met up.
This is the same library that Ultra Mantis Black was working in during the Ashes of Chikara.
Yes. Yeah, he was met. Icarus found him there, correct? Yeah. So Delirious shows up at the library, constantly saying the end times, the end times, the end times. He puts a book down, words of the end times or something like that, in front of Mantis, and then Delirious speaks very clearly that at Tomorrow Never Dies, it's going to be Delirious taking on Ultra Mantis. Loser leaves Chikara.
Yeah.
And we know that in the previous storyline that Delirious said that 2014 would be the end of Ultra Mantis Black.
Yeah, and this is what Delirious said in 2012.
Yeah.
You know,
so this is the whole Eye of Tyr storyline.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming for Delirious. So, you know, it'd be interesting because, I mean, Delirious is not the most active in Chikara, but Ultra Mantis Black is a stalwart in Chikara. Whether on the card or not, he's there doing commentary. He's always behind the scenes. You know, Ultra Mantis Black has been a Chikara staple from the beginning. He's from the first class
he's
of
Gen
Chikara.
1.
You know, so imagine the landscape of Chikara changing if Ultra Mantis Black would be gone.
Yeah. I'll links to both those Delirious videos down in the description.
Also, the one I was looking forward to, because all year long after You Only Live Twice happened, I was waiting for it, because it's an end of the year tradition, and I didn't see it come up, and I was disappointed, and then it was announced right off the bat as one of the first 2 matches announced for this pay-per-view. It is the Cybernetico match, the 8 versus 8 circuit match pitting Team Chikara, led by Worker Ant, versus Team Flood, led by Jakob Hammermeyer.
The Cybernetico Royale.
Nobody has been announced for this match that I know of, other than Worker and Jakob Hammermeyer, being their representative captains for each team.
So we've got a week before this show happens, and we have no other members of these teams.
Yeah, and you know, there's no lack of how many people can be on these teams. You know, from either side, there's a lot of Flood guys. There's a lot of Chikara guys. There's a lot of guys we haven't seen. I feel like Chikara and the Flood both have cards they haven't even played yet.
Well, and with the fact that we've had reveals within the Flood, with Dr. Cube actually being Jakob and Hack actually being Pinky Sanchez, there's all kinds of things that could happen in this match.
Yeah. And this is a match that can go up to like 2 hours long. You know, this match has gone like an hour.
Live on iPay-per-view.
This could be like the longest wrestling iPay-per-view ever.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that, because it's Chikara.
Let's do this, people. And then we have title matches. We've got 2 championship matches.
Yeah,
We've got the Campeonatos de Parejas. We have the champions, who have been the reigning champions for quite some time now. This year, the Cinderella story of the year, the throwbacks, Dasher Hatfield, Mr. Touchdown, and the supreme fan favorites of the Chikarmi, taking on your least favorite manager's tag team, the Devastation Corporation. Devastation Corporation just racked up their 3rd point at the last show.
Yeah, I'm not happy about
winning a 4-way elimination match.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that.
And it has spent no time getting ready, wasting no time in cashing in their 3 points to get a 2 out of 3 falls tag team championship match against the Throwbacks.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that.
On the 6th.
This should be a good match, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we revealed last week, or the week before, or whatever it was when we announced it, that Icarus had challenged Deucalion to a one-on-one match.
This isn't for the...
No, it is not for the Grand Championship. Mike Quackenbush stands by his rule. Deucalion has not earned 3 points.
It's true.
He cannot get a title shot, Flood or not, Chikara or not.
But, and we didn't even mention this earlier, Jimmy Jacobs and Eddie Kingston both have 2 points.
Yes.
So the winner of that could potentially be Icarus's first challenger in 2015.
Absolutely. And we've added on a new thing. Bryce Remsburg, the senior official of Chikara, brought this to our attention at the event center that just got posted earlier this week. He bugged Mike Quackenbush all through Thanksgiving to confirm whether this was true or not, that Icarus versus Deucalion is going to be Chikara's second only ever cage match.
Holy shit. I even did some research today because I knew that this was the only second one, but I was like, okay, who was in the first one? Because I haven't seen it. It was Claudio Castagnoli and Brody Lee.
Now we're talking about Cesaro and the current Intercontinental Champion, Luke Harper.
Holy crap. Okay, that is probably obviously an awesome match.
It was fantastic.
You put two guys like that in a cage. But now, we've got severely different sizes, severely different styles with Icarus and Deucalion. This is going to be fucking insane.
Yeah, and it's great to have the cage there, because this means no Chikara people are going to get involved, and the Flood can't get involved. This has been one of those things that this Flood Chikara has been breaking down over and over and over again, with all the locker rooms just pouring out and fighting each other. Even if that happens, it's not going to leave an effect on this match, because you're only going to have Icarus and Deucalion in the ring together.
And this is the first time Deucalion's actually been in a match.
No, this is his second match on the Chikara card.
Okay.
He appeared in the last 10-man tag.
Yes.
But this is his first one-on-one match.
And he's going against the Grand Champion Icarus.
Yeah. So if he could beat Icarus, big feather in the cap for Deucalion and the Flood. If Icarus can win, would that be the last we see of the Flood?
That's a huge step for the Chikarmi if
Absolutely.
That
and we're going to find out when we watch it live on iPay-per-view.
Hell yeah.
Chikara's Tomorrow Never Dies.
This upcoming Saturday.
That's it for the indie news. We had results. We had the question. We have upcoming shows and events. You listen to us all. Thanks for putting up with it. We've been talking for 47 minutes. Go rest your earballs before you watch the midweek wrap-up.
I'm going to make one little note first.
Okay.
We're going to have a big story on next week's indie news on top of the Chikara results. If you haven't listened to it, go listen. CM Punk breaks his silence about the departure from WWE on Art of Wrestling with Colt Cabana. It is a 2-hour-long Art of Wrestling podcast. It is unbelievable. It made me second-guess WWE, which has never happened before. I was amazed. But this week, they are getting a rebuttal podcast. If you have questions, once you listen to it, if you have questions for Punk or Cabana about any situation that you hear about, send questions to aowpunk@mail.com. And if it's good enough, they will read it and they will address all those questions on this week's podcast.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This week's podcast, CM Punk can answer your questions.
This will be the third time Punk has actually been the guest on the podcast.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row.
And but think about it. Something you would have never thought. CM Punk could answer your question.
Yeah.
Yours.
Yeah.
Yours.
Or
you're over there.
Or if you just want to send appreciation for him giving his side of the story, because we've been wondering about it since January. It is now November. It's the end of November. So go check out the Art of Wrestling. Be sure to watch the Indie News next week when we give our thoughts on the Art of Wrestling podcast, on the results from Chikara's Tomorrow Never Dies, and all kinds of other indie news. It's going crazy. Stick around because we got maybe a wrap up coming up. Yeah. We'll see you there.